will sit. I invite them to sit. Please all sit. As Chancellor of Richmond, the American International University in London, I hereby welcome you all and declare the 2013 graduation ceremony to be open. Thank you.
Good morning. I would like to welcome you all, the Richmond University graduating class of 2013, and your families and friends to this commencement ceremony. I would also like to welcome our Chancellor, Sir Cyril Taylor, our distinguished recipients of honorary doctorates, members of the Board of Trustees and Board of Academic Advisors, and the faculty and staff of the university. This is both a day of nostalgia, but also one of celebration. We will miss you, our graduating students, as you now leave the university. But we also want to celebrate with you and your families your achievement in becoming graduates of the university. According to William Sullivan and Matthew Rosen of the distinguished Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching, the challenge of liberal arts higher education in today's world is to prepare students to live successful lives, but also to live lives of meaning and significance. This involves developing what Aristotle, the Greek philosopher, called episteme, or critical knowledge and analytical reasoning. It also involves the development of a techne, or transferable skills, to live a successful life and to achieve graduate and professional employability. Aristotle, however, also calls for the development of practical wisdom, or what he calls phronesis, which Sullivan and Rosen call practical reasoning. This involves learning from experience based on a life of engagement that could be social, cultural, political, spiritual, with others in the real world. As graduates of Richmond University, the American International University in London, I am confident that our excellent and committed faculty have challenged you to develop critical knowledge and analytical reasoning in your academic subjects, as well as enable you to develop the basic skills for personal development and graduate employability. But I am also confident that as a member of our international academic community, and after all, that is the great strength of Richmond University, is that our students are members of this small international academic community, that you've had the opportunities to develop practical wisdom or phronesis by becoming friends with fellow students from over 100 countries, and therefore in developing, among other things, intercultural understanding. You will have also had the opportunity provided by our wonderful student affairs staff to engage in a range of student co-curricular activities, from student government to membership of student societies, to engaging in performance and artistic activities, all of which have broadened your experience and enabled you to develop practical wisdom. Engaging both academic and co-curricular learning, I hope that you're now aware of the challenges and benefits of being a member of an international community, and that you are now prepared to be active citizens of an interdependent and challenging global society. Your graduation from Richmond today does not mark the end of your relationship with the university. Being a Richmond graduate is something special that connects you with over 7,000 former students in 139 countries around the world. You are now part of the Richmond Alumni Network, The word alumni comes from the Latin alere, to nourish. Your link with Richmond, the friends you have made here, and the faculty and staff you have met and worked with will remain a nourishing presence, I hope, throughout your lives. Our program of alumni services will help you maintain these relationships and make new contacts to benefit your career and social lives. To go beyond the basic Facebook contacts that you will have, we clearly want to enable you to come back and go to alumni events at the university. Richmond alumni are international innovators, leaders, entrepreneurs in the global worlds of business, politics, civil society, the arts, etc. They make a difference to societies around the globe. Keep in touch with Richmond via our social media or alumni website and let us know about your achievements and what you're up to. Like your families and friends today, we, the faculty and staff, as well as our trustees and academic advisors at Richmond, are proud of you, our new alumni, and we'd like to keep in touch to support you and celebrate you and the university's future successes with you. Once again, congratulations to you, our graduating class of 2013.
Would His Excellency, the High Commissioner for the State of Ghana, Professor Kwaku Danzo Boafo, please stand. His Excellency Professor Kwaku Danzo Boafo has had a truly brilliant career. Professor Danzo Boafo went to distinguished schools in Ghana before enrolling in Suffolk University in Boston, Massachusetts, where he obtained a Bachelor of Science cum laude. He then obtained a Master of Public Administration degree with honors from Northeastern University, Boston, and then a Doctorate of Philosophy from Howard University in Washington, D.C. He began his teaching career at the University of Ghana, Legon, and then went on to teach at Clark Atlantic University, Atlanta, Georgia. He became head of public administration and director of the postgraduate program in international affairs. Amazingly, in 1997, he was appointed the ambassador of the Republic of Ghana to Cuba, where he worked with Fidel Castro. In 2000, he was appointed Minister of Health of Ghana and undertook several important assignments. Also became a distinguished writer, being the author of the political biography of Dr. Kofi Abrefa Buseya and a number of other biographies. After serving as Minister for Health, he served as Chairman of the Executive Committee and Interim Management Committee of the Commonwealth Foundation, as well as many other important positions, and one of his greatest achievements was to help to eliminate malaria from West Africa. He became the High Commissioner of Ghana in London in 2012. Professor Danzo Boafo represents one of the most successful African countries. A population of 25 million. Ghana has excellent resources, including, I understand, gold, diamonds, and oil. I hope you have lots of that. They speak English as their national language. Excuse me. Many young Ghanaians study abroad, and Richmond has some Ghanaian students, which we welcome greatly. Your Excellency, Richmond, the American International University in London, is proud to award you a doctorate in international relations to Professor Danzo Boafo. Congratulations.
My Lord Chancellor, president of this great institution, faculty, students, parents, graduates, good morning and congratulations. As you know, I haven't come with a prepared text because I do know that today is not a day for speeches. You've toiled, you've struggled, you've completed all your course requirements, you are ready to receive your diplomas, go home and celebrate the day. So I'm not going to bore you with long speeches. I think you've had enough throughout your 4 years study. I bring you greetings from the great Republic of Ghana, the Black Star of Africa. Ghanaians extend their warmest felicitations and congratulations to all of you, parents, friends, and everybody who has come in here today to support this great event. I will just make a couple of comments. 32 years ago, I sat where you are currently sitting to receive a PhD from Howard University in Washington, D.C. And I thought I had acquired all the tools I needed to face the challenges of the modern world. That period was entirely different from the period in which we currently are. But one thing remains constant, and that is the challenges of mankind. The degree you've acquired, to some of you, is a license to earn a living, to help your families, and to live a life worthy of living. But there's one other thing. You and I know that what you get really makes or gives you a life. And I will challenge you to use what we've acquired from Richmond University to make other individuals' lives worthy of living. I see that a whole lot of you took courses in European history, and I'm sure you might have come across the name of the good old Otto von Bismarck, who indicated to us that we can strike whilst the iron is hot. But better still, we can make the iron hot by striking. I urge you not to wait till the iron is hot, but make the iron hot by striking. The knowledges, skills, and abilities you've acquired here would assist you in doing precisely that. Bear in mind that regardless of the capabilities you have, as an individual, you cannot be an island. You are going to be living in the community of nations. Try as much as possible to brighten the corner where you are. Make a mark in history. Let the world remember you as a proud member of the more than 7,000 alumni that this university currently has. And I also would want to assure you that as a new member of this 7,000 member army, I will do my part to champion the cause of Richmond University. I would wish that Richmond University and the universities of my country, Ghana, would establish the kind of cordial and collaborative relationships that would ensure that we all accomplish the noble objectives of our two great countries. I have spoken extensively to the International Programs Director of the University of Ghana, and I do hope that within the next few days, we can sit down and map out a strategy and several mechanisms to ensure that faculty exchanges, student exchanges in syllabi, and other pedagogical mechanisms are put in place so that our students can reap mutual benefits from what our endeavors eventually produce. Students, parents, graduates, as I indicated to you, today is not a day for speeches. But I don't think you know of any academic who doesn't want to speak. My last words to you are, you have the tools, you have the capacities, you have the knowledge. Move on to change the world. We have too many problems, but I think as humans, we can overcome all of these challenges. There is no challenge that has faced mankind and that has overcome mankind. So join us. As Reverend Jesse Jackson has often been saying, let us all keep hope alive. Thank you so much.
Mr. President, faculty, staff, and students, I now invite Lord Griffiths of Forfarsh to come to the stage. Oops. Getting old. Lord Griffiths has a truly outstanding public service. And perhaps one of his greatest qualities is patience, because he was head of Margaret Thatcher's head of the policy unit, number 10 Downing Street. Well done, Brian. Brian Griffiths of Forfarsh, as I've just said, a very distinguished public service career before going to work for Goldman Sachs, where he's now the Vice Chairman of International Business. He taught at the London School of Economics from 1965 to 1976. He was appointed Professor of Banking and International Finance at the City University in 1977 and was Dean of the City University Business School from 1982 to 1985. Quite a lot of Richmond students go there to take their MBA. And he served as a director of the Bank of England. Lord Griffiths served as head of Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher's policy unit at number 10 from 1985 to 1990. He played a leading role in reforming British education, as well as being the chief architect of the government's privatisation and deregulation schemes. He was appointed to the House of Lords in 1991 for Forfarsh and served on the Economic Affairs Finance Bill Subcommittee and the Committee on Religious Oneness, as well as the Public Service and Demographic Change Committees. He served as chairman of the Centre for Policy Studies, the original think tank set up by Keith Joseph that gave Margaret Thatcher most of her fantastic ideas. It was a leading think tank from 1991 to 2000. Lord Griffiths is a passionate Christian and is chairman of the Archbishop of Canterbury's Lambeth Trust and also of Christian Responsibility in Public Affairs. Lord Griffiths Richmond, the American International University in London, is proud to award you a Doctor of International Business. The floor is yours.
Your Excellency, Chancellor, President, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and most of all students, I do have notes, but that's simply a function of my age relative to the High Commissioner, and I can assure you this isn't going to be a long speech. It's a great pleasure to be here today, and it's a huge honor to be given a doctorate by the university. And in accepting the doctorate, I'd like to pay, if I may, 3 tributes. I'd like to pay tribute to the success of the university, to the president, to the faculty, to the administrators, and so on, because frankly, I labored in 10 Downing Street, as Cyril says, on education reform, when British universities, and that was in the mid-80s, well after Richmond was really founded. And I have to tell you, it was like trying to, move a mountain to get anything done. And today, the success of the university, the applications that you're having, the intellectual quality of the institution is, I think, a terrific reflection on the faculty and people who've been involved in it since it was set up. Secondly, I love the motto of the university of unity and diversity, and particularly the commitment in the mission statement to internationalism. I grew up in Wales. Until I was 5, I couldn't speak English. And by the time I went to university, the only foreigners I'd met were English people. And I went to the London School of Economics, which, like Richmond, was very international. And in my first term, I became very good friends with 3 other fellows. One was from Calcutta, one was from what was then called Ceylon, and one was from Ghana. And it was just, to me, a breath of fresh air and really a revelation to be exposed to different views of the world, different views of food, different views of drink, and so on. But it was terrific fun. And thirdly, I'd like to pay tribute to Cyril Taylor. I was very involved in with Mrs. Thatcher in education reform. And education, James Callaghan had said when she came to power, that education, the schools particularly, were like the secret garden and nobody went there. And she basically had a program giving greater choice to parents, creating new kinds of schools, some testing, a national curriculum, and so on. And in that, Cyril was absolutely critical. And what he achieved is a tremendous legacy to what he did, because not only was it expanded under her government, John Major expanded it much further. Tony Blair took it into a totally different level. Gordon Brown, although I'm not sure he agreed with all of it, never stopped any of it. And now Mr. Cameron, Mr. Gove, and so on have really taken it, so it's become a sort of benchmark of British education. I remember once telling Cyril, your real strength is that you're an educational terrorist. And, well, because he would go into, he'd go into a house on fire, the Department of Education, fearless about the people he would meet and so on. I'd also like to say very briefly how much, in accepting this degree, I want to affirm my commitment to education, especially with an international dimension. Because since the 1970s, we've had decades of globalization. We had 3 decades of globalization following, which involved the fall of the Iron Curtain, China coming into the world economy, the Indian economy becoming much more a market economy. And as a result of that, we had 30 years of continuous growth, year after year, of over 3% in global GDP. World trade grew even faster than that. And globalization, I think, has been a terrific influence in the world. It's taken hundreds of millions of people out of poverty. And in addition to that, it's been a great leveling factor, because globalization is in favor of meritocracy. And therefore, you graduating today have tremendous opportunities because of globalization. I think one of the painful effects of globalization has been that in the last 3 decades, in every Western economy, inequality in the distribution of income and wealth has increased. As technology has been one factor driving globalization, to get jobs in technology, you need special skills. You need education. And therefore, I want to congratulate you today as you receive your awards and say, in a globalized world, you have a terrific opportunity, but it's a windy heath. You can't rely on family background. You can't rely on institutions which have not been deregulated. And in facing that, as the President said, you need intellectual skills, and Richmond has equipped you with those, but you also need practical skills. I'm amazed sometimes how people who are not as bright as others have such good practical skills that after so many years in the workplace, they're ahead of people who on an IQ test would be brighter than them. And thirdly, I think there's something apart from a bit intellectual ability and practical ability, and that's the whole issue of values and of ethics and of character. I've lived in the city. I've been involved in the city all since I started as an academic. But in the last 6 or 7 years, with the financial crisis, and then the revelation of things like the LIBOR scandal, governments know how to change regulation to have a better banking system. But the future of financial systems is not just re-engineering in a technical sense a financial structure. It depends on the people who are in those institutions and running them. And that depends not only on their ability as bankers, but it also depends on their values and the character that they have. So I'd like to challenge you this morning, if I may, as to what your values are and how you are developing your own character. We will all have different ways of getting there. For me, as a Christian, I go back to the ancient wisdom of Judaism, that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You must decide which is the way for you. But whatever you do, I can assure you that in the coming years, the issue of character is going to be as critical as the issue of ability. And in developing that, I wish you well, and I hope you have a very successful career of public service and of private benefit. Thank you.
Lord Griffiths, in accordance with the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Richmond, the American International University in London, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Business Administration, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto, in witness thereof, we invest you with the hood and present you with a diploma, which I think you've already been given. Thank you very much indeed.
Will the candidates for the degrees please stand? Mr. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the candidates for the Master of Arts and Bachelor of Arts degrees.
Marco Albonico. Rebecca Claire Benchouf. Lisa Ann Hon. Katie Lee Hauser. Jennifer Grace Lloyd. Bree Wicklund. Ayman Abdel Jabbar. Sajil Ahmed. Omar Jamal Al-Omar. Rachel Ann Alberstadt. Majed Mohammed Salam Al-Suwaidi. Lalyefa Asamoah. Althea Ayub. Maria Elena Badio. Mitchell Perry Baker. Dimitar Balevsky. Senkan Boz. Vonti Odell Bright. Melissa Christine Carr. Andrew David Serami. Rowena Chusky. Harrison Chadwick. Arushi Chowdhury. Samir Chihade. Shahida Asusena Chowdhury. Charlotte Komelink. Beriwan Dadva. Pascal Maurice de Saint-Antoine. Philip Dietrich. Catherine Ann Detroit. Sami Tufik Aid. Nikki Sri Maria Ebo. Noor El Aris. Sami El Kurdi. Isabella Elinas. Lauren Ellen Evans. Catherine Everland. Kwaku Boateng Farah. Helena Garcia Calizosa. Francesca Lauren Gratta. Glenn Gutierrez. Irfan Hamza. Chloe Amelia Hanisco. Michelle Courtney Higdon. Corin Zoke Humphreys. Anas Ibrahim Ismail. Michael Jan Jacobs. Alice Grace Janssens. Effie Ifemia Kanelopoulou. Desislava Karadakova. Matthew Kota Klela. Rebecca Jane Knows the Ground. April Christine Lafeva. Jenna Lee Larinjo. Madeline Larson. Anistelle Lenoble. Itzen Liu. Laisa Elizabeth Oliveira Lopez. Nompikazi Iswa Majola. Patrick Georges Marco. Philip Daniel Simeon Martin. Javier Martinez Santiago. Mighty Mandu. Brandon Michael Miller. Alyssa Michelle Nolasco. Christine Osei. Erin Parker. Natalie Pachakek. Inmaculada de Pino Perdomo Teixeira. Paulina Penkova. Jester May Pickens. Paul Poupon. Catherine Lute Proshansky. Evelyn Rangelova. Varula Rassam. Glenn Edward Renfrew. Kelly Michelle Rivera. Fatima Mohammed Saad Zaglu. Dina Annabelle Samakia. Faith Mono Simwami. Lindsay Lee Smith. Marine Claire Jacqueline Strauss. Monica Merrill Swick. Tammy Krista Tilling. Kim Vu Tran. Nico Vahakupus. Noah Stissin. Jessica Carol Vaughan. Dimitar Vergov. Winston Walter Williams. Elizabeth Dawn Winwood. Elizabeth Monahan Woyner. Christopher Nagagawa Yi. Shukrat Yulchiev. Desislava Svetlozarova Tishichevska. Jelil Jada Tuzel.
In accordance with the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Richmond, the American International University in London, I hereby confer upon you the Master of Arts degree or the Bachelor of Arts degree for which you have qualified and worked so hard, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. I also confer upon all those graduates unable to attend today's ceremonies their degrees in absentia. Congratulations to all of you.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce Miss Rebecca Knows the Ground, who will present the farewell from the students.
So firstly, I'd like to say thank you to the faculty members who elected to have me speak today. Clearly, you're aware of how much I love public speaking and how experienced I am at it, so thank you. I've never written a speech before, and in order to prepare, I did what any of you would do. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. And after learning the basic format, lead with a joke, talk about the importance of higher education, and then end with some inspiring advice for the future, I realized that as I have more or less the same amount of life experience as the rest of you, I'm in no position to be giving advice about the future. So I'm going to talk about what Richmond has meant to me and what I hope we all take away from it. While I admit that Richmond has its problems, I think that it's important to remember that no university is perfect. That being said, coming to Richmond has been the best thing I've ever done, and that's true for two reasons. I've been asked on numerous occasions about what makes Richmond so great and why I like it so much, and my answer is always the same, because I never felt disappointed by the quality of my education. I was raised by a teacher, and I grew up surrounded by teachers for most of my life, so I know that the quality of education I've gotten here has been exceptional. And I also know that that's 100% due to the incredible people sitting on the stage. You've pushed us to be better students, but you've also pushed us to be better citizens of the world. Your brutal honesty, your availability, and your willingness to go above and beyond leaves no doubt that you love what you do. And there are not enough words in the English language to express the gratitude and thanks you deserve, but I'll say thank you anyway. That brings me secondly to the people seated in front of me, my fellow graduates. It may be cliche to say, but I've learned as much from you as I learned in the classroom. You are fun, intelligent, patriotic, fierce, inspiring people, and I consider myself lucky to know you, and I am very proud to stand among you. We're quite the motley crew. There is a quote by Plato, "Always be kind, for everyone is fighting a hard battle." That is the sentiment that I most fervently hope that we take away from our experience at Richmond. For the most significant lesson I've learned at Richmond is that regardless of class, race, age, culture, or faith, we are all just people, and we all deserve kindness. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2013. I wish you all the best of luck and a very happy life.
I would like you, first of all, I would like the faculty of the university to stand up. Well, in some sense, you've already done it, but I'd like you to join me in thanking them for all their effort and commitment for the university. I would like the families and friends of our graduates to stand up. I remember when I graduated from university, and I really thought about the support and sacrifices my own parents and family had done to enable me to graduate from university. So I'd like faculty and students to really thank you for all your support for our students. And finally, I would like the graduates to stand up. This is a day of great celebration and achievement, and I think if you join me in offering our congratulations to the graduating class of 2013. Before asking the Chancellor to close the ceremony, I would like to remind the audience to please stand during the recessional until the platform party have left the hall. So, as I say, we'll have music, and then if you just please stay standing and stay in your seats until we've left the hall. I'd now like to call upon the Chancellor to close the ceremony.
I now declare this 2013 graduation ceremony closed. Congratulate all of the graduates and thank their families and wish you the very best for the future. Thank you.